What's up? We have another Murktide League. I'm gonna keep this hand. We don't have a threat, but when you have a couple lands, a removal spell, and some counters, you gotta keep keep your hand probably on 7, unless you know specifically what they're on. I mean, we are on the play, so obviously, like a hand with a creature would have been a lot nicer, but it's like a hand where it's like you keep, but you're not super happy about it. That's how I'd consider this hand. But having the spell pierce plus counter spell means we're not going to be weak to anything in particular, really. We just might be in a weird spot. So we have the option to DRC plus like spell pierce here, which I don't hate if they're on Murktide. Steam vents could also be Living End or Rhinos, where I think it would be like it's okay to play the DRC here. We don't really want to have to use our spell pierce. I think I'm gonna shock and play DRC, or we could play the fetch land and play DRC. Actually, yeah, let's do that. Um, let's see what they have. Because if it's like living under rhinos, I think getting your threat down is good, and if it's Murktide, I'm kind of okay piercing a bolt here. The reason being, like, them having one bolt makes sense, but if okay, they don't even have a bolt, so that's good. It makes me think it's more likely to be rhinos, maybe, if they don't have any play there. So now we just have a DRC in play with Counterspell plus Spell Pierce, and next turn we can have Subtlety up. Seems nice. I'm not sure what we're playing against. Blue, blue. Oh, this could be the Lotus Field deck. Yep, this is the Lotus Field deck. Okay. That's good to know. Um, I think this matchup should be good for us, but that doesn't mean we're going to win every time. Definitely has the potential to be scary. And our start is not really perfect against them because we have 2 dead cards essentially with Subtlety and Unholy Heat, and then 4 lands. So we really only have the 2 counters as our relevant cards. Um, and Spell Pierce is a card that like can be okay, but they do play the Twiddles and stuff, so they can actually make a lot of mana to play through Spell Pierce. Alright, we draw another land. Well, let's just get in. If they try to go off next turn, I think our goal is going to be to like use the Spell Pierce pretty aggressively, just to make sure it converts, and then have Counterspell up. If they don't try to go off, we'll flash Subtlety for like no value, quote unquote, because we know that Subtlety is not gonna hit. They don't like have any creatures for us to hit. They're like Underworld Breach plus Wish. Oh wow, they play Vizier. Okay, but that was perfect for us. That's funny. Let's like fetch 2 islands, so they're fetching 2 islands here. It doesn't really do much, but it sends the subtle message that we could have Blood Moon in our deck, which then might make them nervous and like make them try to go off earlier, because they're playing around Blood Moon. It's really minor, and most players at like an RCQ wouldn't even think of that. But if I was up against like a really good player, I might make this play here because like really in reality it doesn't matter, right? But like to them, you're like, all right, get 2 islands when your life total doesn't matter. They're like, why did you do this? And then they start to panic. Now, I mean, I'm not gonna play Blood Moon this turn, so they're gonna know I don't currently have it, but they might be afraid that like it's in my deck at least. It's just a card that like totally destroys them because it turns off Lotus Field into a mountain. They put Vizier on the bottom, which is interesting. Oh. Hmm. They could. They have a land drop, so they could kill us here. I think it was worth playing the subtlety though. It's like it seems pretty unlikely they kill us, and by taking that risk, it gives us a better chance to. All right. So top. Because there is a chance that like the spell pierce doesn't actually do anything, so having double counter spell would be nice, and then next turn we'll draw the force of negation. Hidden strings. So there's the question of do we want to go after their mana or their payoff? Because we're like not gonna kill them very soon, I think we can let their mana resolve. Well, we could spell pierce this to make sure the spell pierce converts. Actually, I kind of like that because if we spell pierce, then they have one mana left. They could like twiddle, but then we could counterspell the twiddle, and then we draw force of negation. So then we have counterspell plus force of negation for the following turn. So that actually is kind of nice. Um, like just thinking about how our cards are gonna play out over the next turns. Like I already identified that Spell Pierce was gonna have a very limited window for like being leveraged. Um, and by the way, I know a couple players who have been playing this deck, and they said it's been crushing Scam. You know, take that however you want, but I don't think the deck is a joke. I guess is my point. Um, I guess we can just Unholy Heat this here with the trigger on the stack so that they don't get to look at any cards. Because we're not going to get anything better out of our Unholy Heat at this point. So we don't want to give them like extra looks towards whatever they're digging for. I'm not sure what that is. Probably like a One Ring or Underworld Breach, something like that. Dream's Grip? Okay. If their hand was 3 Underworld Breaches here, they still couldn't win. So we're doing okay. Wish. Well, they could have something like Ave in their deck, so I'm gonna counter Wish. Oh, I should have used Force of Negation there. Counterspell is just the better card, because also exiling the Wish would have been very relevant in like stopping them from comboing. Yeah, that was a big mistake. Hopefully we don't get punished for that. I think it's unlikely, but we could. The One Ring. Well, I guess we could draw another Force of Negation, so we should counter with the Force of Negation. I really wish we had sequenced that the other way, so that the Wish was exiled. I think then, because then Underworld Breach wouldn't do anything really. Okay. See if we find a Bolt to win. Just a Spell Snare. Spell Snare is good. It hits Underworld Breach, which is like probably one of their main outs here. Considers fine. Just gonna focus on countering the payoffs. Oh man, what's this? Odawara? Haha, that's funny. I guess we'll bubble them for info. Dreams Grip. That's funny. It could like tap Subtlety to buy them a turn. We can just let this resolve. Like, chances are that if we countered it, it would push lethal. Oh, they entwined it. Wow, what a play. But if we have the counter, I think we're just winning anyways. We also found bolts. So we'll just bolt their face. Annul seems really good. It hits Underworld Breach and the One Ring. Wow. Value. Minor misstep. Alpine Moon's probably decent. Cast into the Fire is actually very good because they they like cast they try to untap the One Ring multiple times as part of their engine with hidden strings, so we actually can get pretty good value there. Mystical Dispute seems fine. Easy to cut the Unholy Heats. Although I do know that they have Thing in the Ice in the sideboard, so I need to be a little careful about that. Maybe we can keep some Unholy Heats in, cut Subtlety. Like maybe we should just cut Bolt. Like Heat to stay hedged against. Cut the Stern Scolding. Like keep 2 Heats to hedge against Thing in the Ice a little bit. Then we also have the Mystical Dispute, Spell Snare, and counter spells. Should be fine, right? Alright, let's go with this. Like, going face is somewhat relevant, but I think that it was more likely that we lose by them sticking a Thing in the Ice and us having no answer, and then bouncing our board. Maybe that's not true, though, because, like, we could just delay a Murktide region and then play an 8-8. They can, like, tap our Murktide region, so... We're gonna keep this. Ironically, kind of weak to Thing in the Ice because she's not until here. Maybe the Unholy Heats just aren't. Well, we can attack like with Ragavan and then Unholy Heat. Because if we play Ragavan and they play Thing in the Ice and we attack with Ragavan, they're gonna think it's a bluff. How could this man possibly keep removal spells in his deck? But I know better. Well, we're digging for our land, so we should look at the top card of their deck anyways. Pierce. Interesting. Is it Charm? No. Hmm. This could be bad. The threat level of this turn is pretty high because they can go like Lotus Field floating 2 mana and then untap Lotus Field plus 1 ring, which would be really good here. Um, However, we're not really getting anywhere by like Alpine Mooning a Lotus Field, then they can just continue to play a fair game. So we're basically just, I think I'm just hoping here that they don't kill me this turn. Like, please don't twiddle. Darn it. Okay, they did. Um, the question is, will they actually be able to kill me though? Hidden Strings on Lotus probably means they're just gonna play a One Ring, which is very good. But we get to Alpine Moon then. And then following that, we'll have like a bunch of counters up. So overall, we're not happy they got the One Ring into play, but not the worst outcome. We just have counters for like all of their bounce spells and ways to answer my Alpine Moon, so I think they're just going to be stuck on that Lotus Field as a one land. This is interesting. Um, like, there's a question of how good the Mystical Dispute actually is. And maybe we can, like, jam a Murktide or something if we dispute here. So I kind of want to dispute. I also don't have Delirium yet without getting instant into the graveyard. And so I want to get Delirium if we decide not to jam the Murktide. Well, I think we're just going to jam the Murktide probably, but there is a chance we don't. We could hit like a ring here or something, a ring of our own. Hidden String. Alright, let's play a 4/4 Murktide. And, pass. This has them on probably a 2-turn clock, because they're going to take 2 down to 11. We hit them for 6. They take 2 down to 9, and then we hit them again. Or they take 3. But, I mean, they're getting to see a lot of cards here with the One Ring. We're just praying this Alpine Moon stays on the battlefield, otherwise we'd be very dead in this spot, I think, the majority of the time. Alright. They draw 3 cards. I think we're really going to focus our efforts with the Spell Pierce on just tagging anything that can unlock their mana for them. I think that's the best way to go about it. Okay, so now they actually die next turn. Oh, the thing in the ice. I knew they would have it. I knew it. They don't die then. But we can get the thing in the ice off the table so that they don't get to like flip it. Are they gonna twiddle our Murktide? Okay. We should have played the land there, but it's fine. They are still gonna die this next attack. So I think we're in really good shape here with the spell pierce. Alpine Moon putting in the work. Well, that's fine, right? I mean, they get to block our Ragavan, but they're gonna die to Murktide +1 ring trigger. It's at the beginning of your upkeep, right? So they have no chance to respond to it. I guess we'll play Bobble, sack Bobble, target them for some info. But I think that the match is just over. They do get to make any color with Lotus Field. Maybe they can make green and cast Weather the Storm. That took me a second to think about anything that they could do. Oh, that doesn't work, right? Because it's just like last known state-based effects. Also, not to mention that they're just, yeah, they're just gonna die anyways. They were close though because if they had one extra turn, they could bounce this thing and then go off. So we beat them, and then like if we didn't dispute the Oracle and play Murktide Regent, we lose that game. We recognized that we needed to establish a clock, like a faster clock, before we gave them time to draw out of things, and so that's what we did, and it like won us the game to dispute the Oracle there. Not to mention the Oracle like digs them 2 cards towards an Otawara, which they need to find, etc. So, um, pretty interesting to recognize. Like sometimes you don't really think about those small points in the game, but I wasn't like 100% sure about that. I just kind of had an instinct that it felt like we needed to put more pressure on them, so we should take the line that gives us the best opportunity to do so. And so I made that play, and then it just won us the game. Whereas, otherwise I'd be like, oh my god, I can't believe we lost. We had Alpine Moon encounters. What happened? Um, Not an amazing hand, but I think it's a keep. Not amazing, but I think it's a keep. So, because we don't have, we can bobble them here. Dryad Arbor, so it's Yawgmoth. I think let's just play this Spire Bluff Canal. We'll set up. Ooh, Subtlety is a nice draw. Subtlety is a nice draw. So we know they have Dryad Arbor in hand. What is this? A forest? Halfling? I Moto broke. What is this? Oh no. Alright, let's restart Magic Online. And this is a chance to promote Mana Traders, the ideal place to trade Magic cards. They used to sponsor me, but then I stopped streaming and they stopped sponsoring me. Hello, darkness, my old friend. Okay, so Halfling resolves. Then we're going to Unholy Heat it. Then we draw Unholy Heat. We'll play Steam Vents tapped. They don't have amazing amazing time chipping your life total down, but they definitely can whittle you down a little bit. And so I like to try to avoid that. Another halfling. Okay. And another halfling. Okay. They really don't want us to counter their spells. Well, we know they have Dryad Arbor as one card in hand, so it's not guaranteed they have like a fourth untapped land. And we can also now try to iteration to hit a removal spell. Which I think is better than playing DRC here. We didn't get there. We can either play Ragavan or play DRC, or like either play Ragavan or play Consider Hand Spell Pierce. Hand Spell Pierce would just be like a play to pitch to Subtlety, but it is potentially good. Like playing Consider makes our Murktide better. This might just be a better line than taking Ragavan. I think it is actually. I wanted to get the DRC down is the only thing that makes me a little bit disappointed, but alright, let's take this heat on top. Um, the idea being if we subtlety them here and then go heat plus Murktide, they might not have a good follow-up. Because they might... It kind of depends, because if they have Grist, we're not really super excited to play into that. Oh, Cauldron. Okay, sure, that's fine actually. That's perfectly fine for us. Um, I mean, we can't heat the halfling if they power it up now, but so they attack, but they don't activate the cauldron. So we could just play a 5/5 Murktide and then kill the halfling, or we can just play this Murktide and then kill the halfling with the cauldron on the stack, I think. And then we have subtlety their next play. Um, subtlety their next play plus. Wait, they just didn't use cauldron. Oh, okay. Yawgmoth. Okay. I don't really know exactly what's going on here, to be honest. Um, I know we want to kill this halfling because exile target when a creature card is exiled this way, put a 1/1 counter target creature. Okay, that's fine. Fawn, interesting. I think we can just race them with Murktide here with the protection of subtlety plus counterspell. And then the question is, do we play the DRC here? I think the answer might be yes. I think we're likely to be subtletying something next turn because they're not using the Cauldron. Although if they use the Cauldron here and we had the opportunity to Unholy Heat Halfling plus then have Counterspell, it would have been really nice. Are they going for Chord of Calling? Well, we'll Spell Pierce that. We'll happily take a Spell Pierce on that. Land in the graveyard. And now they just have one card, which we have the subtlety for. And they use Cauldron. Alright, let's kill the halfling. We'll top a counterspell. Oh, they can just give one of their creatures Delighted Halfling's ability. That's cool. Chord for 2. So I guess our play here is Force of Negation, this Chord. I feel like they have like Walking Ballista or something. I don't know what's going on here. Zulaport. I just want to Force of Negation this and then have Subtlety up next turn. Because they have the ability of Dryad Arbor. This way we now can counter a creature or non-creature, which seems pretty relevant. I kind of want them to combo us out of nowhere with some weird like Walking Ballista line. Apparently there is a Walking Ballista kill, but I don't know how it works. Oh, I think I know how it works. You need to have Yawgmoth under the Cauldron too, and then any Undying creature plus Ballista lets you go like 1 life for 1 life. Did my MTGO just freeze again? It did. Okay, there we go. So let's bring in this Cast into the Fire, Furies, Stern Scolding, cut Ragavans. I think we want to cut Spell Pierces. So we need to bring in more cards then? Like Minor Misstep? Is that playable? Is a Null playable? No, I don't think so. You could bring in EE. We could just hold on to these forces if we think Cauldron's like a key card to stop. I don't really love the idea of Minor Misstep because they're going to play their 1-drop on the play. Like, let's do this. Oh, that's one too many cards. So we get to kind of force negation. EE can also blow up. You can also blow up their cauldron. This hand seems awesome. I guess we don't get to play DRC turn 1 because we're hoping to spell snare, but that's fine. We also might end up pitching the DRC to... Okay, yeah, now we definitely have to try to spell snare them, right? They let on Nurturing Peatland too, which is pretty interesting. Shock Steam Guns pass. No way. What are they? They're like, they're calling our spell snare. They're like, I know you have spell snare here. I'm not playing into it. No way. Or they just have Bowmaster. Yeah, that makes sense. I always forget that Yawgmoth plays Bowmaster. Now they're just playing like Lord of the Rings Tribal. Good news is we have a spell snare. You have to be really careful playing out DRC as a 1/1 against the Bowmaster decks. That might have been a mistake, to be honest. We might have just wanted to not make that play. So this will be nice if they don't have another Bowmaster. If they do have another Bowmaster, then we have to cast into the fire, and then Preordain, it's still fine, right? So, like, the Preordain will help us get Delirium, is my thought. Ooh, they're stuck on lands. Bin Bolt. Oh, awesome, nice. We could go top and then Preordain, Bin Bauble, get to resolve Preordain, or we could bottom the Preordain and cast Bauble to have like 3 looks at a counter. That seems kind of nice to me. I guess we have like Stern Scolding in our deck now, so we have extra looks at that. Uh, let's do the Bauble line. Hitting Counterspell here would be so nice. Hmm. Well, that's awkward, but we gotta put that in the graveyard. Murktide Regent. I think we'll draw that. Unless they like endurance us right now so that they can block. I am a little bit afraid of endurance. Do we want to let them know that we don't have counterspell? Or should we play a fetch land? Like saving the life could be really nice. But on the other hand, it's very telling. I think we're gonna play tapped. I don't know. Yeah, it's such a big tell. Maybe we're just supposed to shock it. Play another Wall of Roots. Play a Soul Cauldron. That's fine. We can exile that. Um, we can make a bigger Murktide, right? Now we have to decide if we're afraid of Endurance here, because we could just play Murktide. We could also get in for an extra 3. If they have Endurance, I really think it's correct for them to upkeep it there to try to take us off Murktide, right? Like, they've got to be afraid of Murktide, but the punish is so bad if they actually have the Endurance. So if we just shock and play Murktide here, what's the punt? What's the deal? We lose out on 3 damage. I think we'll go for it. Oh no. No, really? Oh man. Oh, that's so bad. Ugh. God, I can't believe they did that. It's like a next level bluff because I think it's just horrible, but it just owned us. Oh, if we just played Murktide. Darn. Okay. I guess that's a lesson. Like you never know what play your opponent is gonna make. Sometimes it's just best to do what's best for you, you know. Just like don't take the risk. Uh, make the smart play. We're still fine here though. Never mind. They have chord for okay. Maybe we were gonna get crushed anyways. I mean, if we had an 8/8 in play here, they would probably not have been able to risk. Probably wouldn't have been able to risk this play, this line. Man, that's that's wild. I guess we Fury Yawgmoth? Or do we Fury... Are we supposed to Fury pitch here? We probably are supposed to Fury pitch. Like, getting the Fury into play doesn't actually do anything for us. So we can just pitch the DRC shooting Yawgmoth and then try to do something from there. Like, if they risk things and draw a bunch of cards, maybe we can get down a Murktide and have Stern Scolding up, something like that. I mean, they could have just machine gunned our Murktide with the Hapatra, so it's possible that it didn't actually matter that it didn't change the game that much. Because instead of just like sacking and targeting their own stuff, they would have just killed my Murktide to draw like 8 cards. Yeah, if we can find like a Stern Scolding or Counterspell here, we might just be fine. Okay. Oh, we already played a land for turn, didn't we? Yeah. So in that case, we're not really fine. Man, we had to find like Stern Scolding plus Mishra's Bauble. We were close. So here we take 8, and then we counter something, draw another counter spell, play Murktide as a 5/5, and then try to kill them from there because they use the Peatland to cast something. Okay, I think that might be the best line. Oh, actually, wait, hold on a second. If they're smart, they can Hapatra their Yawgmoth. So then it becomes a 2/2, so we take 8, but then the next turn we would take 1, 2, 3, 7. Oh, plus 1 from Pendelhaven, we take 8. Take lethal. So maybe we just have to jam the Murktide here. Well, maybe they're not smart. I don't know. I don't think that jamming the Murktide ever works in this spot because they're just so likely to have Grist or something else. Yeah, we are just winning this game if we had played Murktide. Oh, the Cauldron. That card's probably unbeatable here too. Alright, yeah, that card's unbeatable because they can just like power up their stuff. I'm gonna draw DRC. Okay. Any changes on the play? Well, we could consider. Oh, we have Minor Misstep in our deck. I thought we weren't bringing that in. Hey. The kitty just jumped up on my desk. Hey, buddy. You want to play some Murktide? Alright. Do we want to switch a Force Negation for a Spell Pierce? I don't think so. This Minor Misstep is probably better on the play. Like, better chance that it hits something. On the draw, I think, is where it's really kind of sketchy. But on the play, I think it's actually really reasonable. Because we cut Ragavan, so we're less likely to have a turn 1 play. We have the Preordains and the DRCs. Okay. We'll start on Preordain here. Because they really only have a couple mana dorks. And I like filling up our yard quickly to try to get a Murktide down fast when we get the opportunity. Like if they play Halfling, we just get to go Bolt plus Preordain. And then we potentially have Murktide next turn. If we find one. DRC Minor Misstep. Definitely bottoming the Minor Misstep. DRC is tempting. Because we get to like play DRC with Counterspell up. How close are we to Delirium? We're going to have Sorcery Instant Land. We could also just bottom looking for the Murktide. We're like, we have a lot of cards here that we're pretty happy with. Like turn 1 DRC I think is great, but at this point, do we really want to try to make that our plan? I'm not sure. Let's put it on the bottom. Let's bobble. Do we want to bobble now or not? We shouldn't have played it if we didn't want to bobble now, because we could hit draw DRC and play that. But I was thinking we want to bobble now to try to find Murktide. But then I also had the thought that like maybe we want to wait on Murktide until we can have Counterspell up anyways. So we just want to like bobble ourselves next turn. I think that's the better play. Next turn we're probably, and let's at least see what they do, and then we can decide if we need to bobble to like draw ourselves a card. But I think that what's gonna happen is they'll play like Cauldron or something, and then we'll have Cast into the Fire. Yawgmoth, that's fine. Yawgmoth, that's fine. Okay. Well, now we know to fetch that away. We can just get Steam Vents tapped, I think. In case these young wolves start to beat us down. You never know. Subtlety. That's kind of nice. Let's be careful of endurance here. Another young wolf. Okay. They've got the youngest wolves. Stern Scolding. Don't mind that draw. We have to be careful with these young wolves. I mean, it's 3 damage a turn, so it's not that bad, but we also can't really kill them. We need to like try to block them eventually. So hardcasting Subtlety kind of has become a priority. We could cast into the fire. Oh, activate Takenuma. I thought that was going to be a lot worse. I'm okay with activate Takenuma. Then they return Bowmaster. Okay. We might have to flash this Subtlety end step with no targets just to be able to start blocking their guys so we don't die. I would love for them to play a creature here. Any creature, I would Subtlety. If they have like land grist here, we fold, but we know one of their cards is Bowmaster, so it'd have to be the last 2. I think we just have to take that risk because that was a really big turn for us there. So we know that they're gonna flash Bowmaster in, and I think we're gonna want to like kill Bowmaster with our cast into the fire. So I think we actually wait a turn here on this expressive iteration so that we can deal with the Bowmaster. and start to eat their stuff. I'm not gonna counter Bowmaster though. So we're just gonna kill this and a Yawgmoth. I guess we can do it in their upkeep then. Or like when they attack. Wait for them to attack and then do it. They'll attack with everything and then we just get to get them. So we take 2. I guess that means they don't have another Bowmaster in hand, or they would have played it there to like grow their guy. Yawgmoth. Should we just counterspell this, or should we Stern Scolding so that we can bolt? I kind of want to counterspell. Hold the Scolding because it's super efficient. Whew, nice. I don't know what their last card is, but I think my plan here is just to kill them next turn in the air. Because we just have Bolt plus 11 damage, so don't need to attack here in case things go wrong. But we should be fine. Okay. They do have the Nurturing Peatland, so Grist. This time let's Stern Scolding, in case we have to use this Lightning Bolt to bail us out. Like if they have, I don't even know what they do. They'd have to like draw and have Veil of Summer, I think. Alright, if they're not going to use their Nurturing Peatland, then they're definitely dead. Okay, they're dead. Alright, awesome. Oh, EU is kind of a funny draw there too. Now they draw a card? Interesting. Alright, awesome. We win the match. Pretty weird game too, because they like I feel like they timed their endurance weirdly. I think they should have done it when I was tapped out of counterspell on their turn, but they really wanted to ambush my DRC in combat. So sometimes I think that depending on how I don't recommend you necessarily try to perceive the skill level of your opponent because it can be hard to do so, but it is worth noting in situations like that where they might fall into a logical trap of like trying to get max value. um, that's a spot where I think you can make a decision accordingly. Like if you think your opponent is someone who would play it safe and make the smart play of endurance on their own turn, then you can you can assume they don't have endurance. But if you're not sure, they might still have endurance and just be waiting for combat. You could just cast the Murktide main phase 1 and completely blow them out. I want to get paired against the Beanstalk deck. See what happens. You can only learn by playing against it. We're gonna make a deep dive on the Beanstalk deck coming up, so excited for that. Alright, we pair this hand on the draw. It's really sketchy, but what I like is we do have like Ragavan plus Force of Negation. So depending on the matchup, that could be really good. Botanical Sanctum is Living End, so or probably Living End, so we know that Ragavan turn 1 is our best play, and then we're just going to try to find as many counter spells as we can before turn 3, which is unfortunately, turn 3 is pretty close. Alright, interesting draw. Okay. Well, we got 2 counters, so that's... Oh, they don't even have a cycler, so maybe they... I'm not sure what's going on there, but that's good for us. We can even cast Consider here, because we have the Force Negation if need be. I'll take Pierce. Alright, now we're loading up on counters. That's what I like to see. Let's get these fetches down. Getting the extra cards in the yard means we can play Murktide sooner, but for now I'm just going to sit on like the 6 counter spells that I have as my plan. But if we can play like a Murktide and still have 2 counters up or something like that, that would be pretty nice. Not going to play the Architect of Will, though it is kind of tempting. If they didn't have fetches, maybe, I don't know. You could try to mess them up, make them draw a Living End or something. I don't know what's in their hand, to be honest, though. Is it possible they like have a lot of Cascaders, or they drew a Living End? So maybe we want to make our goal to get Murktide down next turn, just to like put some pressure on them. Oh, now they have cyclers. Okay. Well, we exiled 1 Living End, and they usually play 3. They could have drawn 1. So maybe we only have to counter 1 Living End and we win? Because they've drawn through a third of their deck now. Shardless Agent. Well, this is our best opportunity to spell Pierce, because next turn they'll have an extra land in play. So we should definitely use the spell Pierce now. By the way, feel free if you're watching. But what? Feel free to, chat or ask a question if you're watching. You don't have to be silent for all the patrons. And if you're watching on YouTube, you can't hear anyone in the Patreon chat, just because I didn't want them to like have to have their audio be on YouTube without them wanting it to. So I'm not recording the Discord call, just my own voice. Or I hope I'm recording my own voice. Yeah, Shardless is cool that it's legal in this format, Fost, except for it's kind of abused, and I feel like it's less cool than the days of like, oh, maybe they actually just wanted to like reuse Shardless. Like they might not have been making a mistake. That might have just been their intention because they wanted another Cascade spell on top. But we're gonna Ragavan them, so that's not gonna work. Or they could have a Cycler here to draw it. They do. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, Living End does usually play Gemstone Caverns. Sometimes it's just in the sideboard, but it's a pretty great card for them to have on the draw, just like their deck. Okay, so let's see here. So we play. If we play Murktide, we have two counters up, and if we don't play Murktide, we have three counters up. But if we play Murktide, they have to kill us next turn. So they could like grief us and then Cascade. That's fine. Alright, let's play Murktide. Because that just cuts their clock. There's like a decent chance they only have one living end left, which actually does kind of change the equation, right? If they only have one living end left, we could just be smart to keep up all of our counters. Let's take a look at like a recent living end list just to see what's going on with that. Because sometimes they're on 4 and sometimes they're on 3, and I just would like to know what like stock is. 3 living end, 4 living end, 3 living end, 4 living end. Alright, I'm gonna play Murktide then. If it was like every list we saw was on 3 living end, I would hold up the extra counter. But I think that it's like very hard for them to break through here. They basically would need like Grief, Cascade, Mystical Dispute, which I don't even think they're main decking Mystical Dispute. So we should just be fine here. Um, well, I guess the other thing is okay, well they shocked, so now the player on Spell Pierce, we now don't need to worry about Shardless Agent blocking Ragavan, which was a small concern. I guess they could have the Channel Waker. Let's just cast Counterspell. We drew very nicely that game, I have to say. That is the power of counterspells, though. We got to cast some or cantrips. I mean, we got to cast some cantrips and draw our good cards, not draw the bad ones. All right, and we win game 1, which is pretty huge. Post where we get to bring in like a couple cards that are really nice. Um, we get to take out like I think we take out these Unholy Heats, but I want to confirm do they board Endurance against us even? I'm not sure they even board Endurance against us because like their fair plan is just so bad that I'm not sure they can afford to board Endurance. Has it ever won the game for them? That wins? Wow. That's surprising. Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. I guess the question is it worth having an unholy heat over a bolt because of that? I'm not really convinced it is, but maybe it is. I like having the Stern Scolding and Subtlety to cut off grief because my basically my plan is we can't really stop the violent outburst plus force negation in our upkeep plays, but if we can cut off grief, then it forces them like normally to be able to combo. I think it's they kind of need to have like the violent outburst plus force negation because we have so many counter spells. All right, let's go with this. If they like endurance us and crush us game two, then maybe we can bring in an unholy heat game three. But I feel like it's fine. We also just have counter spell in our deck. This hand is about as good as it can get. Not actually, because I mean the cantrips could brick, but it is a very nice hand because we have Ragavan, we have a Spell Pierce, and we have other cards that do something, which is definitely enough for me to keep. Ragavan makes the cantrips a lot better. It helps us set up for that we can have like double counter spell up earlier on to try to play through their like violent outburst force negation plays. It's hard, but I feel like sometimes as Living End, if I were playing Living End, I might just grief on turn one against the Murktide player. Oh, there you go. They did it. Like that? Yeah. Because it's like they still have to play through this Spell Pierce now, but I think that the Ragavan would have made things a lot worse for them. Although they also could take Spell Pierce, leaving us with no counters, and just hope we don't find any others. It's a pretty big hope. We have six counters. Six other counters? Yeah, taking the Spell Pierce might be right, though. And we have seven counters. Eight if you count Mystical Dispute. Oh, no, no, nine. We have two more Spell Pierce, too. So, yeah. We have good chances. But yeah, they are probably supposed to take the Pierce there, honestly. Though if you're taking Pierce there, they may have subtlety. That'd be fine if they wanted to subtlety this, I think. I mean maybe it's actually it might be bad though, because if they like subtlety and then we have to like cantrip, we're like locked. We can only really find Pierce, right? We also have a Chalice in our deck, which would just be lights out. Um, but yeah, like the subtlety could have been annoying there because it would have made our cantrips really clunky. Okay, got a counter spell. Ding. There's a subtlety. I'm using the fetch land there to like again to try to like, speed up the Murktide potentially. Um, all right. Well, hopefully they don't like have another grief. I guess we'll just hold up this counter spell. Yeah, but yeah. Oh, they just play it tapped. I think I'm gonna cast Iteration here. The other option is to cast Murktide, which might be better. Iteration, the goal is to find any other counter. Murktide, the goal is to kill them, with one counter being good enough. If we play Murktide, we can have Stern Scolding counterspell up. They could have Mystical Dispute to protect their living end, so maybe we don't even want to play anything, so that we can beat Mystical Dispute. Now that I think about it, that kind of sounds like a good play. I don't really want to get Mystical Disputed here, but that is true. On the other hand, yeah, I feel like Mystical Dispute's a pretty reasonable read, right? Like they haven't cascaded yet. They could just be bricking hard. Like maybe they're looking for a cascader, in which case we'd want to get a threat down. That's kind of what I'm banking on at this point. Well, they might have the outburst. I'm gonna play around the dispute. They might just have double. Oh, they don't have double living end. There's a lot that we get crushed by there. It's a really tough spot. Maybe respecting the dispute last turn was bad because we even exiled a dispute, which is kind of funny. Like maybe we should have just jammed a Murktide that turn before, and if they had 4 disputes, I think you're thinking of rhinos. But they do definitely have a couple disputes sideboard. I mean, we just exiled one. But the question is, like, do we want to play around them setting up the 2 of? It's just hard to say. Can we play Murktide now and play around dispute? No. We could play DRC. Weird game. Wait. Oh, we could have played the Murktide. I miscounted. Because if we play yeah, if we play the Murktide, we can't Stern Scolding Grief, Counterspell, and pay for Dispute. But I think that's a risk I'm willing to take to kill them next turn. What I didn't want to do is lose to just Cascade plus Mystical Dispute, which we would not have done. So basically, yeah, I made a mistake. Um, we did not really get punished, it seems, so that's nice. But yeah, that was a mistake. The Murktide would have just been probably lethal here. Alright, minor misstep to hand. DRC to exile. Here we go, here we go. We can play this out. Just have lethal. We can also, like, next time we can legend rule a Ragavan to give delirium to our DRCs just to make sure that they don't like Otawara Ragavan and take away lethal. I mean, it is definitely the smart thing to do. Um, Bobble gives us delirium. Bobble gives us delirium. Yeah, we're a little afraid of like endurance plus fawn, I guess. I wonder if we should like play Murktide here to play around endurance plus fawn. We probably should have played Murktide to start the turn. Um, because we could like keep. This way, if they flash endurance, I think we can just let it resolve. They have a forest on top. If they flash endurance, I think we can just let it resolve. Let them eat our let our eat our Ragavan. They go to 1, and then we just hold up our counters for Cascade. All right, time for an epic stack battle. I mean, I guess we bin this now, because if they don't die this turn, then something went very wrong, and we want a Murktide Regent, I think, to try to like. I think we're just dead if they get this through, but. Uh-oh. Surely they don't have another force negation, right? Woo! Nice. All right, let's keep it going. The show must go on. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some water. Burned? What? This conversation just derailed. What? Someone in the Discord call, if you're watching on YouTube and you can't hear them, someone in the Discord call just said Burn takes too much thinking. All right, who was it? Oh no, what was the other part of the context? I even want to know. Yeah, Living End has a fail rate because you have to keep a lot of hands where there's a lot of question marks on the play. I think we can keep this on the play. Oh, this is a 17 land list. Oh yeah, we got the goods. I guess we go top top, doesn't really matter. Sorry? I got my invite? No, not this weekend. Yeah, I'm still out there battling for invite for not for it's like that's for the next one. Oh boy. Well, yeah, this is a bit of a rut row. I think we should counterspell this. It might just be bait if they have Bowmaster. We got baited. Fuck. Yeah, I should have known. Yeah, it was bad to counter. It was bad to counter. That was a bad play. They even thought about it for a second too, trying to set the trap, and then we fell for it. So that is on us. I think if we let that resolve there, though, we're still in a pretty bad spot. So it might be necessary to like try to make them have it. It was just a really unfortunate spot because our hand was really well like set up to beat basically anything else, but this Ragavan put us in such a bad position. Maybe we could have bottomed one of the two lands. No, we wouldn't. I mean, we wouldn't. Yeah, that's why I wanted both lands. I was just thinking, if we just fade a Ragavan this turn, we have counterspell into expressive. We even have Fawn. They're trying to cast Murktide, and they're trying to exile the treasure, but they can't. Oh, oh, it froze. I froze. No, you're right. They cast. All right, we are gonna force this. The question is, what are we pitching here? Is it counterspell or an expressive? I think it's counterspell because we need these expressives to get us back into the game. Like our plan here is to like expressive, maybe play a Murktide. Oh my god. Yeah, all we can do is get punished. Well, we do have delirium. We kind of want all of these, and I think we're supposed to take the land and the DRC. The scolding is nice, but the problem is, yeah, I don't think we can actually like let them hit us with their guys and hold up scolding here. And I don't think there's a, because yeah, the other play in my mind, I don't think taking Dragon Rage and scolding is like actually, yeah, I think that the scolding is just worse. So let's just take this to hand, this to exile, play this. Alright, your go. Hopefully they have nothing in hand. All 5 cards are blanks, even though they have no land drop. Evoke Fury Scam. Okay. Uh-oh. Me? It doesn't kill the Fury. We need to like iteration into 2 removal spells. Alright, it's okay. They took the Spire Bluff off the top. Oh, wait. Okay, what's their last card? Dothy? Give me a break. Give me a break. Alright, something good. Woohoo! Oh my god. Oh! Okay, wait. We're cooking. We're cooking. We got gas. We got gas. Well, our play is it kill 4/4, kill Ragavan, go to 2, but then they get to cast iteration, or do we just kill Dothy, kill Fury, and then take a hit from Ragavan, but risk them hitting like a bunch of stuff? I mean, they might just swing with the Dothy, and then we have to iteration into a removal spell for Dothy, whereas Ragavan, we could like have a blocker. Like we're saying, we're hoping they hit a land, and then we're like hoping that they hit a land off the top of our deck, or hit like a counter, which would be fine. Off of our deck? Well, that's a good question. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 lands accounted for out of 17. So there's 9 out of 30, but then factor in the counters. So there's 2 counter spells, 1 Stern Scold. Did we fetch, or is the Stern Scolding on the bottom of our deck? It's on the bottom of our deck. So 2 counter spells, 2 spell pierces, 1 force negation, 1 spell snare. They could also hit they could hit well, they could cast Murktide, which would be really bad. Yep, I know. Yeah. It I just feel like this Dothy casting expressive iteration is like so bad. Like if they find a Thought Seize, if they find like there's so many cards, I think we just need to hope they brick. Like I'm not saying we're statistically favored here. I'm just saying like we need a chance, you know. Yeah, we need to give ourselves the best chance to get there, and I think that the Ragavan bricking and then bricking their draw step is like the best chance here. Um, ha. Considers good, but no, they got to take away. Oh my god! Owned by a blood. But then we draw the island? That's hilarious. Discord is getting hyped right now. I'm getting hyped right now. I'm like, wait, is this happening? Are we doing this? All right, so we gotta do it in their upkeep in case they, or should we let them? Should we like try to make them attack? But if they draw an undying spell for turn, we're gonna feel awful. But maybe baiting them into attacking could be okay. They also could dash Ragavan, so except now maybe they like if their last card is a brick and they jam here, then we can survive. Doesn't really matter, right? Yeah, but we're gonna bolt the Ragavan anyways, so going to one. Oh, that's really bad. The problem is we don't actually have like very many draws because the DRC has to attack. It kind of has to be. Oh my god. We need to hit like a removal spell plus Ragavan. Removal spell plus Ragavan. Oh, the show goes on. We're not done yet. We're not done yet. We're not done. I'm not going home. I ain't fucking leaving. The show goes on. And we have to try to like. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. We just need them to attack here, with both bowmasters going for lethal. They really shouldn't, but they might. Like they might just say YOLO. I mean, we can. Yeah, we can keep that as a blocker. Is that a good enough blocker, or should we risk two more looks? I mean, we have. Uh, I think it's a brick too, but they're pitching it to Fable, right? That's the problem. We could even dash the Ragavan and try to nail something off the top of their deck. Yeah, that's what I was. um, because I just don't like the chances of our Ragavan sticking. If we were to like, I kind of want to like try to look for Murktide, is what I'm thinking. Then we're like much more immune to their stuff. Like they can't draw Fury at least. Or there's like a removal spell. We have to be like less picky with this surveil. So if there's another Ragavan on top, then like they really want us to dash the Ragavan or something. I don't know. Um. Okay. No. Are we gonna get punished? Was the Ragavan good enough? Come on, Deck. You know the show must go on. I'm not done yet. Three, two. Oh my God. Wait, that works. Sort of. We get so many looks. It doesn't work anymore. No. So we have to bin it. Okay, we're taking this Ragavan. I'm settling. I'm settling. Do I dash? The question is, do I dash? They're gonna take the hit if I dash. They're definitely not gonna block, right? And that's the question is like, how many outs do they have to like kill us versus what is our odds of hitting something off the top of their deck by like and like forcing a trade, right? Because Fury and Terminate kill us. They might have a lightning bolt. They might have a fatal push. It just feels like all of their deck just kills us, right? So maybe we're just meant to dash and hope. Like, I just feel like with like 3 looks at new cards, their odds of finding something that kill Ragavan have to be so high. It it does suck that we can't hit Fury, we can't hit Grief. We have to hit like Push, Fable. Fable doesn't even improve our odds. Bowmaster. Okay, never mind. I think we're not supposed to dash because we can't hit Fury. Yeah, we're just like I mean, we know that their one card is a blank, but they get the chapter 2 and then we just have to like clench that they're not like their top 3 brick. They could draw like an Undying and stuff. Discard 2 at least. Oh, they discarded 2. They discarded 2. Oh, wow. My roommate's probably mad at me. I'm being too loud. Well, I'm here. I'm here. Don't worry. I was just texting. That was a crazy game. All right, so we get to bring in Scolding, Fury. Most of them are just on Leyline of the Void. I think I'm not gonna board Cast into the Fire until I see like Unlicensed Hearse. Then I'm gonna cut. On the draw, I think you like it's better to keep Fawn and cut Pierce. On the play, I think you cut Pierce, keep Fawn, and then you cut the Ragavans. Oh, so we need more cards then. Oh. Um, it's not horrible, but the problem is like then the Bowmaster entered the battlefield. You're not really that afraid of Bowmaster at that point. I wonder if Minor Misstep is better or Pierce is better. Maybe okay, we'll just board the cast. It's like it's not the best, but it's not. You're right. It does have some applications. Okay. Well, this hand has spells. I will probably keep. Um, like it is a risky hand, but we can kind of afford to miss a land drop for a turn or two, and I don't. I really dislike mulliganing. This Thoughtseize doesn't really do much because we just have. Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay. They took Stern Scolding. What does that tell us? It means they probably have Bowmaster or they have Grief in their hand. Um, because Bowmaster is one of the cards that is like pretty good to Stern Scolding, I'm not gonna play the DRC. I just don't want to get bowmastered and lose. Land? Nope. Okay. It's okay though. Like I said, I think that we're not like super worried about missing the first land drop. If we miss like again next turn, it might be kind of bad. So they did have the bowmasters. We have to decide if we want to bolt. If we bolt now, it's playing around like them having an undying spell, but also they could like scam or something. I think we should just let this happen. That's the other thing is I'm thinking like if they have Fable, I'd be pretty happy to pierce it. Because they might be thinking like, oh, I'm gonna play Fable and they have to force it, right? But then we just get to pierce, and that's really like a great play. Oh wait, hold on. I wanna screenshot that for the person who was asking about can you keep Fable in against. Someone in the Discord was asking, can you keep Spell Pierce in against Scam? Who was it? I forget, but you can tag them. I just posted it in the sideboard discussion. Land? Oh, that's interesting. We could play the DRC now, make them have another Bowmaster. If they have another Bowmaster, then we just Fury them. And the point of getting the DRC down though, I think, is that oh, interesting. Well, I'll trade with the Ragavan if they let me. And then they might like Undying Ragavan, and then we just get to Fury them. We get to end their career if that happens. They must not have Undying, but they must have Grief or Terminate or Fury. Grief Terminate. Well, no, not if they can't scam it. They'd probably just wait to hardcast it, I think. All right, let's just play another DRC. We're just like playing our little one mana deck, you know. Don't mind us. Don't mind us. Oh. Well, so if we let this resolve, then we're never casting Murktide anyways, so we might as well force pitching either Iteration or Murktide. I'm just not sure which one. I think that, yeah, because I think that Charles, I think, is the one who said it, but someone in the call was saying that a pretty good read that their hand is reactive, like probably Terminate. So when you think if they have Terminate, then I think you're pretty interested in, like, obviously you're not, yeah, you're if you think they have Terminate, you're interested in getting card advantage with Iteration, not it is terminating here. Oh, Dash Ragavan is their last card. Okay, well, in that case, we would have been pretty happy to have Murktide here, but I think that it was a fair read to think Terminate, so I don't blame you for that one. Uh, we might, we might want to kill this Bowmaster now to avoid any like weirdness with I'm a little like if they draw an Undying card, I don't really want to have to deal with that. Yeah, they've been harming themselves for sure. They need to practice some self-love, that's for sure. The downside to doing that play is if they drew like another Ragavan, then they could do that. I think four. Well, I've hit Primeval Titan and cast that before, but it really wasn't. I don't think it was that great. I think the best thing I hit and cast. I mean, this is a lame answer, but it's got to be Ren and six, and then I've just like ultimated the Ren and six. Like if you just play Ragavan turn one, they play a Triome, and you hit Ren and six against those decks, and then just like have a counter up, they just lose. You just get to keep ticking up the Ragavan or the Ren until you ultimate, and then you have unlimited counters basically. Um, so that happened before. I've hit a Karn the Great Creator before, um, which was really good against Tron because it was like a null rod, which is actually like null rod is very good against Tron. They just have all those eggs and stuff, so I think that it shut them down pretty hard when I hit that Karn the Great Creator. And if you ever hit Karn the Great Creator against Tron, like most of the time it's correct to play it. They're well, yeah, because their next turn they could like play and make two Titans or something, and then it's just oh gross. Okay, yeah. Yeah, sometimes they just have everything. Alright. Our opponent is deep in the tank. Oh, our clock is kind of low. Wow. I just want to make sure that we're not like lagged out because we keep lagging. Yeah, their clock is moving. Well, the the bright side of them playing Fable these days is well, yeah. First of all, we can pierce it, and second of all, they can't just like you know how back in the old days when they played Seasoned Pyromancer, Scam just always had Seasoned Pyromancer as their last card in hand. It's just like draw two. Nowadays, if they top deck a Fable, it's not a draw two at least. So got that going for me. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not boarding a null against the Scam deck. Too narrow. Too narrow. A null is just great against like Tron. It's good against like any One Ring deck and any Leyline Binding deck for the most part. And then it's like especially good against the Beanstalk deck now because they have Beanstalk. You can hit Beanstalk One Ring, Leyline Binding. Yeah. Oh, they drew Thoughtseize return and they were just like they just had something come up. That's fine. We've also been playing pretty slow, so they take the iteration, which is pretty good for them. Yeah, that's true. Usually it's me who punts and the whole Discord call's laughing at me though, so I actually don't feel bad for my opponents when they do it. That is a card. Oh, so we can just top both here so that we guarantee the iteration hits a land. Do we want the snare or another heat? Well, we know they don't have Bowmaster in hand, and the only other thing Snare hits is Terminate. It would be... Oh, Dothy too. Well, Dothy, they can't really play Dothy into our Fury, though, but... Mm, yeah, okay. Because we already have this Heat in hand, I'm willing to take Snare for the upside. Because I think Snare is helping us prepare to, like, protect our Murktide if we draw that, which would be really nice, so... We are kind of due to draw a Murktide here, right? We've seen, like, a lot of our deck. Oh, Takanuma. Oh, talk about Numa. That was pretty. It might not be bad. I don't think it's necessarily very good. Yeah, I was gonna say. I'm not jumping for joy on that one, but oh man. I think we just Fury now. I guess no, we don't want to do that. Well, so Takanuma could hit Grief. No, yeah, we should Fury. I was gonna say Takanuma can hit Fury is the thing, but we have an island, right? I guess we get this island. Yeah, if they have Terminate in hand, I mean we can fawn it. Oh, they have Fury. No, they have Fury. They're trying to. They have Fury. Yeah. It's okay though. We have this Unholy Heat. It was just weird because the Takanuma could hit Grief or something there, and then we just get like crushed. So many looks. Okay. Oh wait, let's Heat in case we lose Delirium, which I think we have a decent chance. Are we losing Delirium? We're probably not, but 8-8. Man, it'd be awesome. It'd be awesome if we had a lightning bolt on top. Then we'd have exactly 11 damage. No, they had Takanuma. That's so much value. I was gonna say, like, technically, I was gonna say Takanuma could have got back Fury, and then they could try to Fury scam. No. Yeah, Preordain is just so strong. Alright, I need a quick break, and then I'll be right back for the trophy match. Trophy match. That's all I gotta say. Trophy match. Let's do it. Like the lowest rank. Why do you ask? How can you see Valorant in my bottom? I'm yeah, I'm bad at Valorant. I'm better at Magic. That's why we play cardboard. Man, 10:20, perfect. Finish up this league, upload it to YouTube, and go to bed. Oh yeah, that game. I'm gonna rewatch that game. I must have. I must have. All right, this hand works for me. It'll be a little bit. I think we're just gonna. Well, we'll see. We'll see what they are on. But we have a lot of options, a lot of flexibility. Chances are we're gonna have to leave up Spell Snare, but if they like play Ragavan turn one, we'll obviously we'll kill it. These preordains could be anything. Man, it's so awesome they unbanned preordain. What a this hand is not a good hand against Burn. This is not good. I think we're gonna lose game one. I do think Burn's a good matchup when you know it's the deck you're playing. That was not a helpful draw either. Alright, so we'll kill this thing. Well, in that case, you can be well prepared. Oh, they start Roiling Vortex? Brutal. I wouldn't mind drawing. Okay, yeah, because I really wanted to play this, but I did not want to get hit by Searing Blaze. Now we get this down, and then hopefully they actually do Searing Blaze us here. And then we can like start to pressure them. Okay, they don't Searing Blaze us. It's too bad. Always yield. Okay, Murktide's really great though. We'll just put everything we can into the graveyard. Do we want to play this Ragavan though? Maybe we do want to play this Ragavan. Or we could set it up on top to get our DRC Delirium. I don't hate that either. Just like cast another Preordain and mill. No, I don't love that. I think it's better to play the Ragavan. Bottom the Bolt. And make them kill our Ragavan, basically. Man, I don't know. I would have loved to have spell snared that, so maybe we're gonna be feeling the regret. Yeah, maybe we just should have bottomed that, held up spell snare, tried to tag the Boros Charm end step. Bottom both. Yeah, I think we messed that up. If we spell snared Boros Charm, it actually would have been huge. Like the Ragavan is decent, but it's not that great, right? Oh, this is all they have? Okay. Maybe we're okay. I mean, if we had spell snared that thing, we would have been in really good shape, right? Okay, we do not play the bauble. Do not play the bauble. They have a vortex. Right. We need to find like a fawn here or something. Uh, lightning helix maybe off of the. Okay. I mean, the problem is we're going to 6. That's not a good number to go to. We really need them to have like one of their burn spells be. Oh, that's nice. That's what we like to see. Oh, they suspended. Wait, they're crazy. That does nothing. They just they have a what? A 2-drop? But it doesn't matter when they cast the Rift Bolt, they die. They have to cast it. Also, it's not an option. I just don't even know what just happened, but okay. I'm always here for some paid actorship. Okay, well, they're gonna die anyways. Okay. I did not think we were winning that game after. I think the Ragavan might have been a mistake to play, but didn't get punished for it, so we take those. Um, I mean, minor misstep might be fine. Oh, is that what it is? That's Null has some text, but it might be too narrow still. I'm thinking that we might just like try to like I don't think Roiling Vortex is really at its best against us. You could cut a bauble. I don't really want to though. I think you just are supposed to play your baubles turn 1. Yeah, like I wonder if we want an EE then? That's another answer to the thing. It's not really a very efficient answer to the thing though. I don't really think Stern Scolding's that great either, but I wonder if Dispute's just no, Subtlety is good on the draw for sure. On the play you can maybe cut it and have the Scolding. Kinda tempted by Dispute, just a 3 mana leak. Or just keep an iteration in, like maybe iteration's not the worst. If you have Ragavan going, iteration's fine. I'm just not gonna bring in the Scolding. I just don't because I feel like on the draw, right, they play the creature on turn 1. It's like I think it's a mulligan. I don't know. We have to fetch shock. I mean, we have a removal spell, we have Ragavan, but like if we get stuck on one land, what can we really do? Are we gonna play this Ragavan into a potential Searing Blaze? Are we gonna wait? Maybe this hand's fine, actually. The iteration's super slow, so it's kind of already a mulligan, but then we have to think about, like, are these other cards good enough? What do you think? What do you guys think? How would you analyze this hand? I should have asked first before I analyzed it. Yeah. We don't necessarily have to shock ourselves because like we could decide that we want to like play around Searing Blaze anyways and just pass with Spell Snare up turn one. Alright, we'll keep it. Yeah, hitting Sanctifier is good if they have that card too, so yeah, right, here's to Goblin Guide. Nope. Alright. Well, we can't really play Ragavan against the Rift Bolt anyways, right? Like it's just if it gets Rift Bolted our hand becomes really suspect. Alright, we need to draw a land. Spirebluff Canal, Spirebluff Canal. Island works. Alright, now we'll let them... If they're smart, they'll like Searing Blaze before they do this Rift Bolt. If that's what they have, at least. Maybe they just don't have Searing Blaze and they're gonna try to like kill Ragavan. If they kill Ragavan, we're pretty happy. Yeah, I think we're pretty happy with this. Just like they were on a mulligan and we just got to gain 3 life with our Ragavan. Oh, darn. I wish we had Spirebluff Canal. We have to take 2 damage from this thing. Uh-oh. Yeah, it must be Skewer. Yep. No, nice prediction. It's always good to be like, okay, when they start to take an action, like predict what they have. I love doing that. It just like helps you figure out what's going on in the, in the format, and like over time you'll just see your instincts building. No lands. I don't want to tap out of Spell Snare, I don't think, because I don't want to get Boros Charm, so I'm just going to play the DRC here. I don't want the Ragavan there because I think I probably am going to want to play Murktide next turn and just try to race and then have the counterspell break things up. Because, like, theoretically, if they have Boros Charms, it's kind of annoying, but they can't kill us. So let's just get down this Murktide's a 5/5. Get off to the races. We have a counterspell to like time walk them basically. If we draw another counterspell, we're in very good shape. If they draw land, they're really bad. They should not. Wow, everything's happening. They should not have played the land because of Searing Blaze. They just probably tilted. Oh my god, a land. Goblin Guide. Well, that resolves. We can just bolt it, and this game is over. Or heat it, yeah, sure. We need to be careful of exquisite firecraft. We need to not die to exquisite firecraft. But do we have lethal here? And that's lethal. Easy game, easy trophy. That's how you do it. That scam matchup was so easy. So easy. Yeah, that game against Living was funny. Alright. Awesome. Well, if you're watching on YouTube, thank you guys for watching. That was a fun trophy. Some really cool matches in there. Appreciate you following all the way through for 2 hours. And yeah, I'll see you guys for the next video.